Oh, my name is Jeff Fukuwashi and you are watching Game News. TGS. I don't know. TGS? Do you guys watch that? It's amazing. Yes, TGS was great. There's a bunch of news, a bunch of new games. There's the funny one like this. Yes, Concord not having people. Meanwhile, us who play Nikkei. So many people watching it. So there is also a very interesting one that is aligned with whatever people are talking this day in video gaming. I probably say line or industry or even the gaming world itself, right? For example, so apparently one of the stood out news was during the Tokyo Game Show, Dragon Quest 3 clothing, or like there is some sort of censorship that happens in the game, and they are actually addressing these issues. And some people might be a little bit concerned with Square Enix lately with their take, but also some people already know that Square Enix actually removed SBI from their like SBI removed Square Enix, I should say that, like, you know, from their client. So which means, you know, Square Enix probably reject SBI. If you guys don't know what SBI is the Sweet Baby Inc., which is a very infamous group that is causing a lot of video games to have a lot of issues, that we should just put it at that. So from what we can know, this is one of the footage that a former Shonen Jump editor-in-chief, Torishima, which is, if you guys don't know what Shonen Jump is a comic or a manga that is being published in Japan every single Monday. And there is like famous titles like One Piece, Naruto, you know, Dragon Ball. All those are from Shonen Jumps. And also Yuji Horii, which is Dragon Quest creator himself. During this interview, something interesting happened. Let's just go and take a look at the interview itself.
あとすごい話題になってたそのコスチュームとか当時とそのままなのかどうなの
There was a lot of buzz about the costume. As you can see right here, there is like the weird, like, you know, cloth thingy that it's like a weird censorship that is happening around here, right? It became a topic of discussion because they weren't exactly the same as they were back then.
のがありましたよね。また。
まあね、いろいろ規制もあってね。
Yeah, there were various regulations in place. Apparently, it's not allowed to show too much skin.
まあそこまあちょっとあんまり深掘りする気はないんですけど。
Okay, there's nothing much.
いいのにだってフィクションだけど。
It's simply about the user immersing themselves in the fiction and going on an adventure. I mean, she is a lady, right? She's don't mind, like, you know, only fiction, you know, which means it's fiction. It's, you know, it's fake. It's not real, isn't it? Oh, it's okay, right? Isn't it okay? Like,
その中に主人公というあなたが入って冒険するっていうことでいいじゃないと思うんですけど、違う。
What's wrong with it?
ですかね。
Exactly the perfect based on question. Okay, here's what most important, where the guys themselves are talking about it as well. I don't really understand that either.
まあフィクションという
It's a game, it's fiction, it's a visual experience. So as long as it's enjoyable, I think that's all that matters.
思っちゃいますけどね。
あんまり露出するとね、年齢
If there's too much exposure, the age rating goes up.
全年齢じゃなくなってしまうっていうのがやっぱり。
The thing is, like, how come it means that we won't be able to sell a product or each product, but but how come they were so back then?
ルールがやっぱなんか各国違ったりするんでね、広く売ろうと思うと一番厳しいところに合わせざるを得ないとか。
Rules vary from country to country. When trying to sell widely, there is the issues of having to comply with the strictest regulations.
そんなこと思わなかったですけど。
We never thought about that in the past. Yes, that's exactly what I was trying to say as well, right? Under the name of compliance. Okay.
絶対神と言うべき。
It's an absolute god, evil disguised as good. Zettai Shin. Absolute god. I guess that's a way to probably translate this into a way. It's like an Omi, like what is it like all. I guess absolute god is it, right? Like all powerful, like omnipotent, like god or whatnot. Disguise an evil as disguised as good.
全員が不快感を覚えないなんてことはないわけ。
This is one of the base things that they probably said. There's no such thing as content that doesn't make everyone uncomfortable. Something or somebody will be uncomfortable on something. For example, a game such as cute as Astro Bot. I guess, people from the Nintendo probably would be like uncomfortable with it. They feel like, ew, damn, how dare you make Astro Bot? It's so good. Oh, a game that make holy shit Mario and stuff. Somehow Nintendo, it's like so huge, but then they like to sue people, this and that. It's still uncomfortable. They make people uncomfortable. Nothing. We're probably gonna cover that in later on, but nothing is absolute. That's what I'm trying to say. Everyone's gonna feel you can't please everyone. When you try to please someone, you ended up please no one. I mean, when you're gonna please everyone, you ended up please no one. But when you're gonna please someone, you ended up not pleasing someone as well.
だって不快なことを覚えるどうこうでもいいわけよ。だって綺麗汚いとかさ、善悪って人それぞれに感じ方があるわけじゃん。
はい、
で物事はやっぱり根っこにあるのはやっぱり
There's a few things that absolutely must not be done. As long as you follow those, you're free
絶
to
対
do
やっちゃ
the
いけない
rest.
ことだけいくつかあって、それをさえやらなきゃあとはいいじゃないって、そういうのがないわけよ。
はい、
だからやっぱり
I think he noted up a very important point. As long as you don't cross the line, everything is up to your imagination and up to your creativity or innovation, right? That you created something that is interesting or not. But then, but what he said like after that is like there's no such thing as those to them, though.
欧
Like so,
米の方から来てるその
like there's a religious concept from the West, like Obe no hokara kiteru, especially in the American influence of their approach to sex education, right?
宗教的な概念から来るその正教徒の考え方ってアメリカにあるじゃない。彼ら
I think what he trying to say was the religious concept of the West, especially influence of the religious concept. I think what people who said about all those weird things that people are mostly overused these days, such the word as woke. Like I mean, like for Japanese, maybe because they don't have that word itself, right? So to them, it feels like, is it like a religion thing? Like, is that why people are like, being like trans, this and that? But what is happening there? I guess maybe it is implied into that. It is
宗教的な概念から来るその正教徒の考え方ってアメリカにあるじゃない。彼らのコンプラの考え方って本当ね狭い。
the approach to the compliance is really narrow-minded. Ooh.
でだから向こうでコミックス出す時に全部その
When we're selling manga in America, everything has to be categorized as age
年齢
group.
で区切ってやらなきゃいけない。少年ジャンプの漫画だったら13アップ13歳以
They
上
won't be
じゃ
so
ない
under
と
they were rated
それ
13
全
and
部
up.
リテイクしなきゃいけない。でそれを訴訟が起きるそのために保険も入らなきゃいけない。
Because there's a risk of lawsuit, the company also has to get insurance.
もうこんなねバカな国とねやるの本当めんどくさい。
Doing business in such a ridiculous country is really frustrating. Oh boy! Oh boy, they're just shooting it out. They just they just got into the ranting mode.
でそっから日本も悪影響を受けてやってるから、
Because of that, Japan also get negatively influenced. Yeah, the thing is with Japan is that they always blindly like, oh, America doing this, America doing that, and the thing is they always late, like 2 or 3 years or even 5 years sometimes. For example, when Avengers was a thing, like the whole world is talking about Avengers and stuff, and then Japan only come in like maybe 3 or 5 years later. Like nobody cared about Iron Man or whatnot during then until like I think when people are talking about Age of Ultron or even after that, like during in Civil War, before like Infinity War or something, then only Japan was like getting into like MCU or like some sort of hype. It's always like that. The same thing goes with Facebook. When I was there studying, Facebook was not really a thing, and then I was like, I was already in Facebook, and then I was like, wait. What? Wait, what? I thought Japan is supposed to be like advanced and everything they use is like the next level, the most futuristic thing. But apparently it's not, because I don't know why. In a way they are quite like late, going like taking in stuff out from the overseas, taking in hype and trend from the overseas. I'm not pretty sure about these days though, but during that time SNS is already existed, and somehow they are still late in getting trend, even though like what I see these days they are still the same thing, just the same thing with the DEI thing. Only this year they will be like pushing it like crazy, a lot of the company. Meanwhile, people are already like seeing that thing and trying to get away from it and trying to get rid of it. and and now only like you can hear Capcom talking about it. You can hear Bandai Namco talking about it. So it's just weird. They're just weirdly late in this kind of things.
主人公もね男女選べるんだけど、
In Dragon Quest, you used to be able to choose between male and female main character, but now you can't choose between a man and a woman.
選べるっていけないのね、タイプ1タイプ2なのね。ねえ。のこれ男女誰が一体文句言うんだろうと思うんだけど。
I wonder that myself. I wonder who's even complain. I wonder that myself.
ね、わからない。
なんか
So yeah, that's about it. So that's the thing with the interview that people are talking about, because even like we all thought that the game like for me, even for me, the Dragon Quest game, I was like never played any Dragon Quest. I probably this is a good time for me to dive into it. And I thought I wanted to go and try the game, but then a lot of censorship happening. We all know what happened to censorship when a game is censored. We feel a little bit like mixed feeling to play it or not. And the same thing goes with Dead Rising from Capcom as well. It got a lot of censorship in the game, so we were like, we're gonna censor, but the game is censored. It's not what it used to be, That is worse. That is actually the worst. It's more worse than what people changed, like in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like people say Final Fantasy VII Remake was like, oh, it's bad because they changed the whole game and whatnot. But for me, I really like that whole change and things like that, right? And then it implement more. It gives you more hotter characters. Like Tifa was hotter as well. Like. It's not like the original Final Fantasy VII where you get lesser, like, oh, they gotta do this, they're gonna censor this and that. No, they get more content in exchange. So that's why I really like the remake version, the remake games themselves. But this is like they cover up this, they cover up that, they take away this, they take away that. So that's a bit of an issue that we probably think in a video game that they should really consider when a remastered or remake is happening these days, because there's too many of them. Well, nonetheless, let's move on to the next one since we're talking about this. Ghost of Yodei is probably one of the hot topics recently. During the TGS, Yodei was released. Ghost of Yodei was announced, and I was just having a I was okay with it because I watched this.
インどもに追われてもまだなお息巻くか我が身アシュラト
Yes, I watched the Japanese version of it, and it was okay, it was great. So I didn't really have that much problem with it, but apparently people have problem with the VA, not the game itself. Mostly, yeah, they did say like, holy shit, oh man, there's so many females. The protagonist is female. Oh yes, it is. Work, woohoo, woohoo. My name is Mario Wario. Well, apparently people didn't like that the protagonist is a female, and then they found out it won't get to that big of a problem until they found out that the VA, which is the voice actor for the character, is a very hardcore activist, super hardcore against like police, these and that, and she started to block people and stuff, acting like a normal typical it's typical like that type of people. And So people are getting more and more mad. Of course, people are getting more mad. The one thing escalate to the others, and things didn't go well. So to these days, Ghost of Yodei. Not only that the character itself is having problem. Now people are having problem like nah, holy shit, this game is now. It's dead. Ghost of Tsushima. This. Oh, Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Yodei. People making memes like this and stuff. So it's really quite interesting to see that a game can be destroyed by the VA herself. I'm gonna be honest. I really thought this game. I think the main problem is just that people really just didn't like the VA. That's it. It's not really like the character itself as well, like, to be honest. It's just that if people saw like, oh, the VA is a female, okay, it's fine. But then when they found out that the VA is a very lovable character, is a very lovable person, I don't think this will happen, to be honest. Well, it is what it is. It had happened, so let's move on to the next news. Next, we have some people were upset about localization version that is destroying arts and making some sort of characters implementing their own passive-aggressive behavior or whatnot. Apparently, the game Metaphor is being one of the victims of this, and to be honest, it's not really just that, because as for me, who really love JRPG and who love to play a lot of JRPG games, I actually realized this ever since when I started to play a lot of Final Fantasy games. I mean, like replaying them in both languages. Like for example, in Final Fantasy VIII, I had a chance to play them in Japanese and English, so I played both of them. And in Japanese, the game is like, it's kind of awesome. Okay, you will play like the proper scripted, like, the people who created the game is Japanese, so that is what they intended to make. And in English, they changed up the script into a very questionable script and a very questionable dialogue and stuff. And I never take those seriously. I always take those as like memes. That's why I always take like English version out and then just make memes out of it. And it actually works pretty well because it is just how it is. That is just that. That's why when I look at this, as you can see, it's pretty. They're trying to change the female character into the kind of like passive-aggressive type of stuff. I'm not pretty sure why they do that. Like, that's just weird. So there is this thing that's going on lately as well, that people are kind of like upset with, like, all this. When things like this occurred again, so they would just be like, an activist trying to push some sort of agenda again, and it's actually pretty like that, to be honest. Like, I think this has already happened quite some times now, so it's not really like a big deal. But yeah, even this is right now, it's pretty hot. A lot of people have been talking about this as well, so I thought, that let's just include in this video as well, and just talk a little bit about it, so that you guys you guys know about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed or probably learned something today. And until next time, guys, I am Jeffrey Kuwashi. Yes, I know it all. And I will see you guys again on the next video. So you have watched Game News. Next time, we will cover much more various type of video games and fun stuff. Okay, no more drama that much. Not too much drama. No. Game News.